Okay, and we are live. Oh, is the song? Oh, song. So we're gonna restart the song. Okay, we are live. I like that cornred. Don't forget to send out the posts. I heard people keep saying on Blue Sky they're called skeets, and I'm okay with that. I like the idea that they're called skeets. I think that's a joke, but I wouldn't mind if it stays because jokes are funny. Don't forget to send out the Blue Sky. Thank you, Austin. Hello, Nathaniel. Okay. Hello, Nathaniel Foga, Austin, Cornbread, Purple Goop, Hats Off Media, Zane Powered. Oh, wait, can I hear me? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm delayed for some reason. Pup, Javier Portello. Did I say everyone? Sorry, I'm a little off. It's been a long day. Alert, jokes are funny. Hello, sit around. Hello. Oh, man. Okay, I hope I said everyone. I don't know anymore. I don't know. But it's nice seeing Hats Off Media. Are we still playing? No, the song's over. Okay. Hey, I'm hot in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen. That's basically what you should know. Thank you all for being here for the last November Movie Crap Live, because there's no Movie Crap Live next week because of Thanksgiving. Whoa, and hello Dan, hello K-Master, hello Bloxy, coming in hot. Red One should have been a Paul Blart movie. Not going to disagree with you. I think that probably would have improved. I don't think I'm going to see it, but cheers to you, Blocks. Oh, sorry. This is the reveal. Well, you knew if you the energy drink clue, which Austin and who was the other person? There's another person who got it. It's Austin. I proclaimed the winner first, but another person. I want to be fair and say another person got it before I drink this because I don't want it. Was it on Twitter? God, the problem with Twitter and Blue Sky. I've definitely in the last week tweeted something that was meant for Blue Sky, and I am all sorts of confused. And they're not even designed that differently. Like, who the fuck? Annoying. Walrus Snacks. I don't like that tweet. I think that Walrus Snacks and Austin get it, but I think Austin should be listed first. My November plan? Oh, sorry. Anyway, this is the C4 Skittles. I got this. Actually got it as a deal, and much like the purple... Is there ice in here? Why is it making a noise? That was weird. Okay. Okay, I might have needed that. I need to pick me up. It's been a King Kong who couldn't really stand here, kept falling over. It's the King Kong from it's a special King Kong. Oh no, wow, November. It's almost over. No Nosferatu. You're right. Why hasn't the Nosferatu trailer dropped? That's what everyone's saying. All these people, all those other Nosferatu trailers are AI or recreations. They're not even... One would say they might even be Dracula trailers, and they're fraudulent to the Nosferatu trailers. Did anyone get that? Okay. Hello, Revark. Revark? I'm sorry. Hello, person who said hi, Jim. It's not that your name is weird, it's that I can't read things good. So take it as this guy's dumb and less offensive. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Wait, is it saying Nosferatu? Nosferatu? Interesting. I can't... Anyway. You're not going to get a Toxic Avenger release date. Hats off. Hats off. I gotta say, I really like Hats Off Media's content. It's a great channel. But YouTube, for some reason, I'll be watching a bunch of Hats Off Media, and then it won't show up in my recommended, even though I'm subscribed and all that. And then I'll be like, what happened to Hats Off Media? What happened to that guy? And then I have to go back and watch a bunch. And then it's like, and this happened to me like at least 3 times. I don't know why my YouTube doesn't. So I apologize if you're ever like, I don't know, if you ever make a joke about me, I might not find out for a significant amount of time. Not that you do that. I don't know why I phrased it that way and I feel embarrassed. Okay, anyway. I don't know why YouTube does that. I'm sure you don't want to hear that on a stream, and I just said it. All right. Also, do you like the the other hats off that does comedy things? Do you have like beef with them? Anyway, okay, I'll stop. So it's been an interesting week. I've been a little, to be honest with you, a little. I got to wait. But how about this? How about this? If he makes a joke, nobody's allowed to tell me. I have to find it. Let's make it that way. Nobody tweet at me or skeet at me or Discord. You can do it on MySpace. I don't check that. Oh, you're gonna fight? Oh my god, I love it. Anyway, I actually think you're both good channels. You should just make a hats off, double hats off podcast where you have nothing in common. It would be wonderful. But yeah, I've been a little, I don't know, just a little burned out this week. Although, video-wise, I think when I looked at what videos did come out this week, I was very proud of like the ChatGPT thing, and which was only vertical because when I started, I was like, this will just be a minute, so it's fine. It can be like a short. It's cool. And then like when I'm editing, I was like, why did I think that? I don't understand. Anyway, but yeah, that and the Treehouse of Horror 35 and the one that actually surprised me, the Rock one, I think is one of my bigger. I think it's the biggest new video this month. So that's really cool, especially because I was just like not feeling it. I was working on stuff, but I just didn't have. I don't know. Long week. I think life just catches up to you between the full-time job and the kids and all this stuff. So, but I'm back in it. I'm happy to do the show tonight. But yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Scud. That sucks. But yeah, I think for everybody, it's just like the life and the world and work. It just catches up to you. But I am going to do another The Rock thing. I know there's going to be a compilation one. I was actually going to finish the compilation one first because YouTube decides what should be in the shorts and what isn't. Is super weird and strange. So I wanted to make a full one to see where it's going to go. And then maybe I'll make a part 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to do parts because the shorts thing has changed, but not really. It's like very confusing. So I don't know. Another one will come out. Possibly several. We'll see. I really don't know. Because YouTube's weird. Anyway, I actually did have a cool week after the show. I saw Casey Musgraves at the Barclay Center, which I live sort of near, and we got to go, and me and my wife and had a great time. It was a cool show. Very different from when we saw Taylor Swift in New Orleans, because I did get more of a sense of Casey Musgraves as a performer than I did. But she has like, if you look at her on stage and stuff, she did have a quick shot of Kermit, so I had to tell Ryan Walterson. But it was a good show, and I enjoy her actually a lot. I like her new album and stuff, but there's all this like space stuff and like a big Saturn and like all this stuff, and it was really cool. And this band, Nickel Creek, who I sort of liked and I haven't listened to since. Then there's like a rock band between whose name I forget right now, but it was cool. And it's like we just did a day of because the tickets were cheap and stuff. So yeah. But it's a really good. Oh, Austin, you're in where that last bunch of shows are? I'm sorry, man. But it was a good time. It was fun with my wife and stuff. We had a lot of good times. Me and my wife hanging out a lot this past week. It's been really nice. Anyway, sorry. Taco Master said, soon a brain drain as creative queers leave Disney. I would, first off, cheers to you. I love that idea, to be honest with you. I sort of don't think it would happen because I think they will want to stay because of the money. But I hope it does, and I hope it does. I doubt it does, but I hope it does. Let me put it that way. Anyway, cheers to you, Taco Master. Oh, and it was Austin's birthday. Happy birthday, Austin. That's awesome. Other things, sorry. Just to go over some stuff. I saw a Tegan and Sarah documentary. And before you go, I don't like that band. I don't know anything about them. I could not name you a song. I can sort of, when I hear a song, I go, yeah, I think that's them. That's not why I watch it, because it's all about basically like how their online fandom got sort of hacked, and one of the Tegans or the Sarah, basically someone was pretending to be them and having like full on like sort of friendships and relationships with fans, and it sort of like destroyed their fan base, and like it's actually, if you're interested in like hacking and fandoms and all that stuff, it's on Hulu. It's really good actually. I don't know anything about Keating and Sarah, and I was very compelled by it. So it's actually one of the more interesting kind of like, I know there's a lot of celeb docs, and it's usually about like how they became famous and their rise, and like the Martha Stewart one I still haven't finished, but for real, that it was kind of, I didn't know about that before that, but it's literally about like they have a very organic fandom. It's online, and then someone's hacked all their stuff and knew all their personal information, was leaking songs through the fake Facebook profiles, basically. I think it was Facebook. Anyway, it was really interesting. So if you like watch a trailer, I think I talked about the trailer in a few shows ago, but it was like very compelling. I don't know if I do a full review just because I have no limited free time and stuff, but it's I would actually recommend it if that sounds at all interesting to you. Also, I saw Lenora. I'm gonna have a review. I need to shoot a review. But when I saw it, they gave me like the regulator cup, which if you don't know, it's like this cup, and then you can just go in and like refill it for a discount. And I was like, oh, awesome! They just gave it to me, and I thought it was really special. And they were playing also a lot of MF Doom, like 3 or 4 songs, and with the Gladiator cups, which is awesome. But then I thought I was so cool because I got the Gladiator cup, the regulator cup, and then I found out later they're just trying to get rid of them for 2024. So it's not that special, but it's a high quality cup, I guess. I don't think because I have to like walk, I wouldn't carry a big plastic cup with me to the theater, but it's kind of neat that I have one since I'm, in all the Regal stuff. No, Honora is going to still be in theaters. Maybe pull it from the theater you have, but I think it's expanding for a while. Trying to think what it filled with McDonald's Sprite. Man, everybody, even people are like, man, that meme's so dumb, but I still do get McDonald's Sprite. Like, everybody loves McDonald's Sprite. I would be curious what the exact combo is. Okay, so I talked about videos, throwbacks. We had Howl's Moving Castle. Sorry, it's been like a long week. What was the other one? What? Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Okay, we have Howl's Moving Castle, which I admit to not really liking at all. It's like my least favorite, which is funny because the one before Spirited Away is like one of my favorite movies ever. And then sorry. And then Oz the Great and Powerful, the Sam Raimi's Oz movie. It's my only really other Oz review of any kind. I think I should do I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing The Wizard. I don't know if you can really even review The Wizard of Oz necessarily, but I wouldn't mind doing something on it. But yeah, so tomorrow will be Oz the Great and Powerful. So if you remember my review for that from 2013, you can see me in a different apartment, and I think one of my cat's tails made the thumbnail stuff. I would like to do The Wiz at some point. That's crazy because when I was watching, I was like, that's not the World Trade Center, right? And then you're like, oh shit, that is the World Trade Center. But I need to do that. Return of Oz. I've actually never seen that one. So, all right, let's get into it because we are gonna have 2 segments tonight for Carl the Collector and the band MoonGirl episode. I will talk about the controversy with the MoonGirl episode earlier in the show, so don't, when I'm talking about that, think, oh, he's gonna get into the review. I'm not. That's after the break, but just to be clear on that one. Yeah, what else? Oh, the only other things is there'll probably be a Denzel compilation from that Rosie was going to be in, and I want to finish the Tim Burton one, and whenever that comes out, it has more stuff that's not in the parts, even though there are like 4 or 5 parts of it. And I almost did Ridley Scott, but I realized so many of them are projects that you have to like really explain, and even the lists of them don't explain them. So I was like, it took too long. So it was like Ridley, I'll get to you next time, basically. Anyway, all right. Sorry. All right. So first off, thank you everyone for the early super chats. It's always appreciated. And one more thing I do not, sorry, it's the last thing before we get into Patreon-y stuff, is the next stream, I'm not exactly sure, but there's the possibility it would be on the 6th. We'll see. It might be earlier. I don't think it'll be on the 4th, on that Wednesday, because I think they're doing the Christmas tree lighting at Rockefeller Center, and I like to watch it with my daughter. And so I'm not going to stream that Wednesday. So it'll probably be Thursday or Friday of the first week of December. I'm telling you that now. But check everything, because who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about one of those dates or something. But yeah. Anyway. All right. So this. Did you check out the forum? What does that mean? Check out the forum. What? I'm confused. All right. This and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through the awesome super chats, or I'll drink this amazing Skittles energy drink that King Kong is guarding for me, or through my Patreon, where you get all sorts of cool stuff like the movie review vote winners video, which came out yesterday or Monday. It's already out. It doesn't matter when it came. It's there though. You can watch it if you're a patron only. The commentary series, where I'm gonna have new ones soon. You get postcards, which I'm also gonna mail out hopefully this weekend. All sorts of cool stuff that you should definitely check. Oh, I did not. Well, if you send it to me recently, I don't know. But if all sorts of cool stuff, it helps me be able to do. Sorry, getting distracted. My brain's a little blah today. It helps me be able to do all sorts of cool stuff, including get more gear, get stickers, I'll promote this stuff, pay bills, all sorts of stuff if you like me to continue to make videos. The Patreon is a great place to do that, as well as super chats during the show. Yeah, as long as you're financially able to do so, but either super chats or Patreon. If you're not, just liking this video helps, subscribing, or just watching. If you are, thank you very much for doing so. If it's a forum, I'm probably not going to join it because I barely have the time to do the things I do. So, but thank you for sending it to me, Remake Shrine. I don't remember seeing that message, but I'll check tomorrow. All right. And also, if you like everyone in this community, you should check out the Discord. Hopefully, I'll not say this as janky as the Patreon. The Discord, which has all sorts of cool stuff about all sorts of cool stuff, including movie watches or team watches or group watches of either TV shows or movies once a week. There's general, where I talk, where I try to do a daily question, or someone tries to do a daily question. It's awesome. They have a great thing. There's the licensed playing card channel, which this is sort of just cyberpunk, and I threw Jaws cards I found in a couch recently. But all sorts of cool. You're watching The Wizard of Oz? And Cornbread does thumbnail predictions. There's a great community. There's artist self-promo. If you made something, you're like, what links can I post, please? You can always do artist self-promo. I did it with my sister-in-law's new song. It's really cool. But yeah, it's a wonderful community. If you like the chat and you like hearing me talk about it, and you're like, man, I'd like to be part of that, you can. Like, literally, anytime. It's there. You can answer one daily question a week or just hang out. There's all sorts of good discussion. It's run wonderfully by Austin and Zane Powers. Please check it out if you would like to. And also, I have, the Blue Sky, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, personal, did I say Tumblr, Facebook fan? It's all in the thing. I actually haven't put Blue Sky in the thing still. I need to do that. And I need to add to my favorite movies thing. I'm not good at, I feel like everybody does their favorite movies. I'm like, I like Wizard of Oz and like a lot of big ones. I feel like everyone else does like, either recent movies, which I find, I don't know, or tries to go too obscure, but I guess that's maybe their taste and I'm projecting. Anyway, let's get into this. So, Mysterio. Okay, I'm going to have to check out artist self-promo. I missed that. So, we got a trailer for the How to Train Your Dragon. Haraku Shrine. It's not that I don't want to. It's just I don't. I'll try to check it out tomorrow when I'm on. If I have the time to go and see your message. I apologize. I don't mean to be offensive or anything. So we got the trailer for the live action How to Train Your Dragon. I was never excited for this project. However, some of the early press, I was like, you know what, maybe there's something. And then I saw this trailer, which was so bad, I had to double check that it wasn't like AI or something. And I was like, no, AI is usually worse. This isn't that much better. And then I saw the design of Toothless, which was literally just Toothless from the animated movie with like a filter on it, as well as the few images I saw of other dragons. I cannot understand what the point of this movie was. They tried to recreate the scene where Hiccup and Toothless, do the hand thing, and it looked fucking horrible. Like, I don't like live action remakes, and How to Train Your Dragon is a big favorite of mine. But this is this is like really like absolute visual garbage. Like, I just don't understand. Like, there's no good shots in this at all. It looks like a bad fan recreation in the worst way, and they spent a ton of money on this, and like everything I've seen from this looks absolutely god awful horrible. I think the problem with live action remakes is the idea is basically like, oh well, you're animated, but now you're in the sort of this real movie. And like, if they had some sort of a perspective, like, well, we're gonna do How to Train Your Dragon, but it's by way of, even like, did I say racism? I'm a little confused about the racism part. Whatever it's saying there, it just, if they said we're gonna do How to Train Your Dragon, but the live action we're gonna do more of like, even as elementary as saying it's gonna be more like, Lord of the Rings, which is like your basic fantasy thing, you know what I mean? But there's nothing in here that shows any outside influences. Very few times have I seen anyone do very much interesting with these things. Maybe like Tim Burton in Dumbo, people say I didn't love that as much. Or Pete's Dragon, I think, is a great example of like, well, the original came out the year summer of Star Wars, and obviously was like outdated right in the summer it came out. So what if we make a Spielberg, Lucasy Pete's Dragon? Absolutely, like, a smart idea. But all the rest of them, it's just like, what if it was cartoon but with people? And I just never understand what that perspective is bringing to it. And this just looked like such fucking like, I don't know if I'll see this because it'll just make me angry and make me roll my eyes and make me want to watch How to Train Your Dragon again to see something good. But it is just so horrible. And like, I don't understand. Whoa, what's going on here? I don't understand. Sorry, my one page. It's okay. I believe we're still live. Sorry. My one page was just, that's the normal page of the stream, like, went down for some reason. I really don't understand what the fuck is going on with these things. And it's like, what if you're gonna do How to Train Your Dragon first? Like, give me something. But it looks so bad, and there's like nothing. I just don't like. Here's the thing with these things that really bugs me is everyone goes like, oh, I hate Marvel movies and you hate action blockbusters and stuff. For some reason, like, everybody leaves these movies alone, but like nobody references these ever. Like, I've never heard anyone reference any of these. Has anyone referenced them? Like, have you ever heard someone go, that part in Beauty and the Beast? Nobody fucking does. And if they do, they're referencing the animated movie. Like, Beauty and the Beast, live action one, it's like it didn't happen. It's same with the Lion King live action. Like, is there any of them other than, like, I still hear kids and people talk to me about Little Mermaid. That seems to be the only one I hear people talk about. It's more just they like that girl. But, like, it's still, it's like, I do not understand, like, what we're doing with these. I know they make money, but, like, does anyone watch them? Like, it seems like when I look at Disney's, like, streaming charts and stuff, all these things, like, come in and drop so fast. Like I don't get, like, you just get your 200 mil and, like, walk away, but, like, it doesn't feel like there's any replay value. I don't know. I think Little Mermaid, you have to talk to kids and specific people, but I noticed, like, it's a bigger deal. It was a bigger deal for kids. That's actually an interesting one because it did much better in America than anywhere else. But I just don't. I don't see the point in these. This did not change my mind about them. I find it really pathetic. Creatively, I think Dean Deblis, as his cohort, Chris Sanders, made something as great as The Wild Robot. The fact that he is sort of just stuck in this franchise, and this is like where, like, seeing them like diverge and like go into their different things, and like, you know, he's at Wild Robot, Chris Sanders is at Wild Robot, even though he did White Fang, which I never saw, honestly. I've seen Dean Deblis has just been like, I thought How to Train Your Dragon 2 was visually very interesting. I think it's not the greatest script or anything, but it's like an interesting movie. 3 was maybe the worst one, but still good. And like, but now like it just feels like he's getting worse and worse and worse. And it's like, you need to get off this. It's like, what is he? It's an interesting idea to have the guy who directed it animation wise do the live action thing, but nothing about this trailer looks interesting. It looks like so awful. And oh god, just like really like visual throw up. It looks like we really should be against these to a degree. Like, do not see this movie. In fact, like, can you take box office money away from a movie somehow? Like, if we can figure that out, I don't know how you would do that, but like, we could like, can I give it money to put into its budget so it can make less money? Can I do that? Like, will DreamWorks take my $13 or I have a Regal an unlimited plan, so I think it's like $15 in New York. How about this DreamWorks? I'll give you $15, so this movie's $15 less profitable because I so hate this song. Like, this is like really like, I really don't like live action remakes. I do not understand why we have to deal with this bullshit because they're like so awful and there's no redeeming quality to them, and then we just like you could legit do something interesting if it was like, you know, I hate his Alice in Wonderland, but at least Tim Burton was like, it's Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, you know? And the rest of them are like, somehow, that movie's awful on its own regard, but the rest are even like, you know, if it was like, I don't know, Werner Herzog's How to Train Your Dragon, that would be great. And, you know, he did Agar the Wrath of God, that could have been awesome. So, oh, hey, John Barton, Malcolm here. Most annoying thing with live action remakes is the team of those get residuals, but the folks who made the film viewers care. Oh, sorry, but the folks who made the film viewers care about don't. Yes, I agree with that. Actually, I agree with that also with comic book creators. The guy who wrote and created The Winter Soldier got like not very much from Marvel. So it's like if you create something of your own, they don't care. You have to really own your own thing. I was hearing an interview with Elvira, and she owns her character, and she can, you know, she can live off the land on that. But like, yeah, they don't respect I mean, they obviously don't respect animation. They're making these fucking movies. I mean, there's like, it's like so disrespectful to the medium. Anyway, John Barton, cheers to you. Like, to me, honestly, it's like so much of animation gets to live on and be past its date. Like, how often do you hear people, best movies of the 30s, and they talk about Snow White, or best movies of the 40s, and they talk about like Dumbo and Fantasia. That, if I'm right about maybe Fantasia's 40 or 30. Anyway, point being, is like they get to exist past that, you know. And I think anyway, I just think there's like an animosity that comes through in those movies, but their animosity leads to zero creativity. There's like nothing interesting about it. I everyone else who gets mad at Marvel movies, I not so much with me. It's these are the things I hate. I hate these movies. They're horrible. I did not get what the fuck this trailer was. It looked really, really bad. Like, honestly, like, it's just such a failure. If there's anything Hollywood is making that's just a failure of creativity and the whole business of art and commerce, it is these movies. They're ugh. I would like the Shrek 5 with the random live action thing that I said in my video, and I think Pam Pizza did in a different video, but alright, we don't need to hear me. See, I actually don't review them because I felt like it's just videos of me complaining over and over again. And I don't love to make that kind of stuff. I'm not Geeks and Gamers who doesn't like anything, you just hate stuff. If you just hate stuff, you have no real perspective. You're just like a one note thing. Why don't you just like play a note on the piano over and over again. It's like no one wants to hear that because you're not an interesting person. All right, anyway, so sorry, John Waters, Liar Mouth. So this is probably I don't know if I'll do a Mufasa review. I like Barry Jenkins. That is a good question, Wandon Natty. I don't know. I really have to think about that one. So I don't. I might avoid it, but I see less of them literally for mental health reasons. It's not even a joke, actually. Thank you. You're right. If the movie say just Unco. Yeah, Dan's right. The Moana remake, which they're making a sequel and then a remake. It's just anyway. So in like actual interesting movie news, I guess John Waters has confirmed that his next film, Liar Mouth, is no longer happening. He turned in the script, but apparently the project was having basically funding issues. But he's moved on to other projects. But here's the quote: what he said. He said, I wrote the script, they liked it. Aubrey Plaza likes the script, wants to be in it. I want her to be in it. And every person said, no, we don't have a penny of that budget. That is where it is today. Hopefully that will change. But the answer as of today, that's it. So I can't imagine how much this costs. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know what the budget is or what they're trying to do with it. I just don't understand why any streaming service isn't just like, how is this more than like that Hot Frosty movie? I'm just picking a movie. I don't have a problem. Hot Frosty's fun. But like, I don't have a problem with any of those movies, but it's like, seems utterly bizarre to me that any, that no one can figure this out because I don't know. Truthfully, I was going to, if this got into production, once I had released it, I was going to go to Baltimore to see it and hopefully see it at the center. I was very excited, actually. So this is really disappointing. I know this is the second time he's tried to get it. He had a Christmas movie that he tried to get made and that fell apart. And it just feels like he can't get anything made, but it's like the problem is like the cult movie thing is just not where it once was. And I think there's still like an audience for it. I think there is an audience for it, but the streamers and those stuff don't really believe in it. But to me, it's like that would have been the big movie. You put it on a good weekend, you could really get a lot of do it. So Zane Powers, why couldn't Tommy Tooby have helped make it? You know what? I bet you Tommy Tooby was trying to help. I bet most of the funding was Tommy Tooby. It's everyone else's fault. I don't blame Tommy Tooby. But yeah. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. I'm the only one who's mentioned Hot Frosty. I'm honored to be the only one. I guess we follow different people on whatever service we're on. I think it's very sad it's not happening. I'm definitely bummed. I think I need to read Liar Mouth because I'd like to see what potentially this movie could be. But I don't know. It stinks because especially Aubrey Plaza after Megalopolis and her as Wild Platinum, you would think like this would be perfect for her to go into. So, it's funny. Speaking of that, I realized like I was going through files of like things I've shot and stuff, and I realized I like forgot about I shot a Megalopolis review before Halloween and going to New Orleans and the election and stuff. So I have been editing that. I think that'll be out sort of soon. Not that that's still relevant, but I would like to get my Megalopolis review out. All right. So the other cool thing, and we have actually two sort of Martin Scorsese news, and they're both kind of interesting. And maybe I shouldn't talk about this so quick in the show, but I wanted to. He actually saw. First of all, I gotta say, one thing I like about Scorsese is he keeps current with film. Like he was into the Ty West Maxine movies, which I haven't seen Maxine. I need to do that. But like he's seeing current movies, and he's not doing like I feel like with Coppola and Spielberg and all those other guys, if they talk about a modern movie, they just talk about like a big one, and you're like, do you still like see new movies regularly? Like you're confused. Scorsese, not the case actually, because I saw the TV Glow. This is his quote. There's one film I liked a great deal I saw 2 weeks ago called I Saw the TV Glow. It was really emotional and psychologically powerful and very moving. It builds on you in a way. I don't know who made it. It's this Jane Sjoberg. So I love. Anyway, he's been. I love. That might be my favorite movie. I think the best movie of the year. We'll say year's not over, but I love that Scorsese. I love that he did that, and I like that he supports filmmaker. I've noticed he's been doing that more. I think his whole like when he was really against Marvel movies, part of me is like, I think it would be more useful if you liked smaller movies than hating on big movies. But whatever. So there was this quote, and I want to talk about it a little. That Nicole Kidman did this GQ thing, showed what directors she wanted to work with, and she particularly called out Martin Scorsese if he made films about women. And I've heard this story a million times, and I wanted to sort of explain why I actually am not disagreeing with her, and I want to explain this before you go, no, but there's that one woman in Wolf of Wall Street, Jim, you were so wrong. And he has a wife in Goodfellas. And it's like, I totally understand that. But the problem with these movies is, like when Wolf of Wall Street happened, like I knew particularly there was like a lot of people trying to get that role that Margot Robbie got. There aren't a lot of opportunities for women in his movies. And so I've heard Meryl Streep say it. I've heard like every female actress say it over the years. And what they're really talking about is like you're competing with like a million people to get that one role in Casino or that one role in, like there aren't a lot of opportunities for women in Martin Scorsese films. So if you ever hear people say that, they're not saying he's like, they're saying like he does not make films about women. He makes films about men typically. And like, except for Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, obviously. But other than that, it just hasn't happened. So like, I get actually what they're saying. If you really think about his filmography, like it's like, but what about what about Killers of the Flower Moon? I'm like, oh, you mean the one role for Lily Gladstone, whereas you have DiCaprio, Plemons, De Niro. It's like, so when you hear this quote in 5 years from another actress, and Scorsese's hopefully still making movies, that is what they're talking about. They're not saying he doesn't have any women. It's just like what I talk about casting a lot, particularly with like, I've talked about this before with like black actors. Like there's not a lot of opportunities. So when there's a major film with a black cast, suddenly you have like this crazy cast. You're like, how did they get everybody? And then it's because they have the opportunity there. So to me, it's just, I get what she's actually saying. And it's like, she doesn't want to play, she's not going to play the Margot Robbie role. But like, who else is she going to play? And I understand there's various different, like the one from Absolutely Fabulous was in Wolf of Wall Street and stuff. Like there are opportunities, but not like major ones that are going to help their career. Like they don't want to do, she worked with Kubrick and like all the, all these amazing roles, and she doesn't want to do like, 2 lines or like play wife number 2 or something like that. So I get it to a degree. I'm not saying he doesn't have female roles, but I'm also saying like he doesn't really have a lot of them. So I know this wasn't the biggest headline. I just sort of, since I have this mouthpiece, want to just clear it up. I get where they're coming from. I'm not calling him sexist. He should be able to make the movies from his perspective. But I also, like, it probably sucks, like, the ultimate auteur filmmaker of our time doesn't make movies for the kind of person you are as an actor. Probably sucks. It probably sort of sucks. So I get it. But I hope she finds other directors to work with. But I sort of, I don't know. But I just wanted to voice that. That's all. I have nothing. I love Scorsese. I have nothing. I just praised him, but I just praised him and shit on him in 2 seconds. All right. So we learned right after the show last week that Conan O'Brien is hosting, the Oscars. I did not expect this. I think because nobody wants to host the Oscars. It's like, it kind of sucks probably. But I think it's a great choice, actually. I'm actually excited for Nikki Glaser doing the Golden Globes and then Conan doing the Oscars. I think we could have actually a really good hosting year of award shows, which would be or movie award shows. I don't know, it's fucking Grammys doing it or whatever. But I'm very excited for that. I think Conan could be, if this works out, and like, look, everybody thought Letterman would work out, and the Uma Oprah thing didn't exactly take off. But so we'll see. I don't want to say. I want to see him do multiple years. I think he could. I think he's good enough to. I think he's seasoned enough. But I would like to see him do one because look, when Neil Patrick Harris hosted, everybody thought this would be the perfect choice, and it was like okay. And then we all realized, oh, he's just Barney Stinson from How I Met Your Mother. I think that was like, it hit everyone. It's like, oh, that's just like you. You're not playing a role. But I think we'll see. I still think the Muppets would be the best host. I saw someone put the guest host thing as the Muppets. I think it should be. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited. I think it'll be really cool. I think he'll be great at this. So I hope he's good and he does it for like 10 years straight. I'd be so down for like a good Oscars and stuff like that. But we'll see. I hope it works. I think it would. And he has the time, like he's just doing his podcast and stuff. I feel like he has his like other show, but I think it could really. I think it could work. I'm very optimistic. I'm actually optimistic about like. Remember last year? It's like we got that one guy who got mad at the Golden Globes, and then was it Jimmy Kimmel again? Who hosted the Oscars last night? Was it Jimmy Kimmel? I don't remember. Were they good? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Last year sucked. A bunch of years sucked. I don't know what Billy Crystal's even doing. Why the fuck doesn't he do it every year? I never got that. But now we have Conan. Things are gonna be good. I think it's showing that it's been a long day for me. All right, I'm going to talk about one thing, and then I will talk about MoonGirl. Sorry, I'm like bouncing around. This is not my most organized show, topic-wise. So if you have Me TV Tunes, here are two cool things that are happening this weekend that I want to bring everybody's attention to. There are two marathons, one on Thanksgiving and one on Black Friday. On Thanksgiving, starting at 8 a.m. till 11:30 p.m. Both these marathons are 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. It's called Rabbit, Ducks, and No Turkeys. It is a Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck marathon, meaning that anytime you turn on, it will be playing some classic Looney Tune. They apparently are very heavy on we're not going to play turkeys, even though they have been criticized for playing things from multiple decades and not just the good periods. But we're going to assume that works out. If you're watching the parade and have to get up with little kids, which is totally not me, and I'm just like, but if you do, you have a half hour before the parade apparently starts, which is at 8:30, so you can watch some Looney Tunes. And then if you just need to put something on randomly during the day, it's there for you. Sounds like an awesome marathon for Thanksgiving. TV channels used to do a lot more Thanksgiving marathons, like MST3K Turkey Day and such. So I'm glad that's coming back. And then on Black Friday, we have a black and white cartoon marathon called Black and White Friday, which again 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. I have to actually work that day, so I don't think I will be. I will watch that later, but I'm excited for that. They did say Popeye and Betty Boop will be in those, so I'm curious if they'll do any silent stuff since they're playing so many. So we'll see. But yeah, if you're into classic cartoons, and people are like, what do we watch between football games or some bullshit? You can just watch Me TV Tunes. So I'm gonna watch. We're gonna be flipping between stuff, but we're gonna go back for both. So anyway, Bugs and Daffy. I noticed Daffy's in the image for Black and White Friday. So I don't know. I know Jerry Beck is heavily involved in that. I don't know. Does Jerry Beck really like Daffy Duck or something? Does anyone know who his favorite Looney Tune is? Someone ask him. If it's Daffy Duck, I wouldn't be. I'd be like, I knew it. I knew it, Jerry. Anyway, all right. I hope they play Betty Boop. That's honestly the main reason I'm getting my kids to watch it. But yeah, I don't want to talk about fucking Black Friday is worse. All right. So MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur. We're going to talk about the episode, which is called The Gatekeeper. We're not going to talk about the episode. I'm going to review it later. But basically, this episode was finished because it leaked, and I've seen it. It's completely finished, and it was going to. Disney's channel is not releasing it. It's supposedly not. There's no Disney Plus release date at this time, and despite that, they paid them to make it, approve the script, and let it be fully animated. No, we're not at the end of the stream. Shut up, Powers. Maybe. All right, sorry. Hold on. I will get to you, Austin. Sorry. Let me get this thought out. Okay, let me do this. I'll just do it. Sorry. Do you think the Oscar Conan and Robert Smigel do a live performance of Doug and Cheeto? It's all in their game, or do you think the Slipknots will perform? You know what? I think Pacino would do it. Is Pacino not nominated? No, Austin, you're cool. I'm just weird. I think it would be cool to do both. I feel like he'll do unique to the Oscar bits, but I hope Smigel is involved. And I think they could do Duncan Cheetah. That'd be hilarious. Like, have Pacino come out. And I hope Smigel's involved. I heard an interview with him, and like I feel like I would be cool with him. I don't know. That's the stupid thing because he's not very competitive, and I am also not a big competitive person. So, which I was surprised to learn. But yeah, I hope Smigel because they did some good work together, him and Smigel. Anyway. Cheers to you, Austin. I feel like he's going to get some good writers. I mean, it's announced so far in advance he could get a really good writing team. That's specifically. I hope they don't give him those Oscar writers, but he's good at working around that. So Conan is also a great comedy writer. So, but him and Smigel hasn't confirmed that, but I that is actually a thing to watch, Austin. That is a good point. Let's watch to see if Smigel says he's going to do it. I would like to know that. Anyway, cheers to you, sir. That's like the more I think about it, that is a good like. What is Smigel involved? Because it's a big gig. It's a big gig. Smigel should be involved. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Okay, so you're gonna end up hearing me repeat myself a bit with the MoonGirl and the other kid shows and stuff tonight. So just get used to it. Just be like every time I say these things, be like, "Wow, this is the first time I heard that." I heard the camera. Okay. So anyway, Disney Channel is apparently not releasing a completed season 2 episode of MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur called The Gamekeeper, which they did, pay for and approve the script and all those things. There's no, we do not know if it's ever going to come out, which is really unfortunate. Because it is about because people are really upset about the trans sports stuff, because it's about 2 volleyball teams, and the volleyball team that Lunella or MoonGirl is on, their captain is trans, and the mom of the other team is very upset about this. I will get into more. This is going to be anyway. Hopefully, I'll do this right because I have to talk about it later. This should have probably been the same segment. Now that I think about it, but anyway. I think apparently one of the artists who worked on it said it was because of what happened in the recent election, because conservatives are super transphobic, particularly that image today of the lady congressman who wrote above the women's room, biological women, just to be a jerk. I think honestly it's more sorry, I'm like allergic to transphobia. No, that was stupid. I do think it is a lot of these companies, and we saw that. I'm not really going to talk about the NBC selling off the cable channels, but that's believed to be another move so Comcast doesn't have to deal with MSNBC. And we're going to be, sadly, it looks like this is the beginning of a trend where these major companies are going to leave. Thank you, Conrad. Are going to leave some of these issues that they were so they cared so much about. Now, some of that has been going on in the industry for a little bit because they, we watched them get rid of all their like diversity officers very slowly over the past year, or actually through 2023. So they've sort of been prepping for sort of more of a just in case, and this seems to be that. But to me, it's like there's nothing. I've seen the episode, and I don't find, as a parent, also let me emphasize that there's nothing really negative about this episode, and I think the fact that it's such a conservative dog whistle of an issue for a lot of them, that they of course would get mad at it. But I also think MoonGirl does not have, it's an amazing show. It doesn't have a new it doesn't have that big of a profile that I wonder if it aired, if it would even be an issue, because like my kids do watch MoonGirl, not as much as they used to, and I'm curious if any of us like are they here's my thing. I think it is a bullshit excuse, and I think it's transphobic that they did it. Because it was just like, you know what, there are too many, and we'll air this later or something. And it's just like, you know, MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur keep slipping on bananas or something. I don't know, I just made one up. But it fine, but it 100% is transphobic. But I could see this more as like, because Disney is famous for it. You look at what they do from Escape from Tomorrow. They do this all the time. Where they'll basically just let something happen and do the reverse of the Streisand effect, where it's like, we won't make a big deal out of it, and so therefore it won't be a big deal, which I think hurt Escape from Tomorrow tremendously. I think they really wanted to get sued and it didn't work out. Or same with the slasher Mickey Mouse movies. And it's interesting when you think of who Disney is and what they are doing, the fact that they made sure, you know, this is Animation Magazine reporting it. These are people that they have a direct line of communication to, that they can send a press release to, and they will publish. So this is not something like, it's not like they don't have these emails. I'm not being like conspiratorial here, but like the fact that they made sure that like, you know, the PR that they have, and this came out the way it did, to me, means that they did this to show them that they will do this, which is far more nefarious. I 100% think that Disney is that transphobic, that they would actually do this, because look, the thing with Don't Say Gay thing, largely corporately it feels like they did not like how that went down, and I do not think they're mad at Chapek. I think they're mad at the animators and having to have been embarrassed publicly. But I do think like what they did with this is to send a conservative message, say we're like, I don't agree with this, but we're like, you know, we're a family company, and you know, we don't support these kind of issues, and we're not, you know, projecting this on your kids, and we realized something had happened and we took it out of circulation. It's leaked, it's out there. I think they failed, and I think as a company I respect them a lot less, not that they care about that, but it is 100% transphobic. There's no other way to look at this issue. If it had just been like we made too many, oopsie doopsie, and they picked a different episode, none of us would be saying this. But the fact that it is this episode specifically, and it's this issue, and they clearly want to appeal to conservatives, I think is scary that is happening, and we're seeing that happen with media companies. And I don't think what happened with this show and how MSNBC is being sold off into its own company should be concerning. It's really concerning, and we're going to see a lot of our culture be censored and stuff. I think the fact that we have independent media right now to a level that we didn't have before, other than like public access and stuff, there's going to be a very differentiation, because before, independent media, independent cartoons is like all the swearing and the cursing and like what you can get away with. I do think we're going to see a lot of that be far more progressive than it previously was. So John Barton, thank you for the super chat. He said there was also a leaked animatic, I didn't know this, of a scrapped episode of Pixar's upcoming Win or Lose a year ago that dealt with a trans character. I actually think it's really helpful. Anyway, we'll get into this when we talk about the show. But that's bullshit, but I think that is how they are. Cheers to you, John Barton. I appreciate the super chat. Alright. Sorry, like, I don't mean to get political necessarily, but I think, I don't know. Actually, when I told my wife, like, we had that, everyone's brought up to me the Lightyear kiss, and I don't think the Lightyear kiss is why that movie was a problem. I think it was a bad idea. That really should have been a streaming exclusive movie. They cut it out for streaming. God, what a homophobic company. Okay, so Gareth Evans, who I confuse for Gareth Edwards all the time, so I'm going to hope I said the name right, who directed The Raid, has had this movie, had this movie Havoc. I've been hearing about coming out to Netflix for forever. It stars Tom Hardy. Netflix has officially released a still of it. It says it's coming out in 2025. If you've been following the story for a very long time. Like like it's been ridiculous. This is like, oh my god, his movie's coming out. Holy shit! So I'm a little excited for that. This is actually one where I was like, I usually think like Del Toro's Frankenstein came out, and the stills for that was like, cool. It looks like a set from a Del Toro movie. Neat, I guess. I don't whatever. But like this one, I was like, what? It's real. Holy shit! So I'm excited. I'm actually a Gareth Evans fan. I reviewed his first one and the rating because a while ago people only really liked my Gareth Evans reviews. I don't really understand why this did so well, but I don't know. I think there's like one I missed, and then he did a show. Anyway, I hope Havoc is good. I'm excited. It's supposed to be a lot of all that. All art is political. Taskmaster, that is true. All right. In very quick news, we learned that the Superman trailer is going to come out before Mufasa. I'm a little surprised because I would have picked Sonic, but that's what they're doing. I expect. I forget when Mufasa comes out. I think it's around Christmas. I'd expect like a few days before it'll come online. So we'll probably see. Means we'll see the Superman trailer before Christmas. That's what it means. In other. I don't have any better takes on this than everyone else does. But The Onion bought InfoWars. Apparently they do own the desk. They own the studio. They own all of it. This was probably a way to fuck with him and ruin his legacy because the Sandy Hook families who have every right to sue him and make so many ads for me as a parent that totally rightfully so. But I never thought of them, they're always very serious and obviously that's a tragedy and stuff. But the fact that they had the sense of humor to fuck with it that bad. That's awesome. Because apparently, like, they didn't even make the most expensive bit. They just fucked with them. That's my favorite part. They're like, you fuck with us, I want to fuck with you. And they really fucked with them. It's hilarious. Oh my god. And like he didn't even have to pay. It's like not even helping his debt. That guy's so fucked. What an idiot. In some ways I would call him a crisis actor, Alex Jones. It was next level next level trolling, I gotta say. And you know what? They deserve it. Oh, they both like fucked him over financially, and I do like that. Like none of the he's clearly not the big name he was, but none of the conservative billionaires would like bail him out. Fucking idiots. All right. In other DC news, sorry. Sergeant Rock is apparently happening, and this is I'm gonna be honest, this is a project I hear about so often that look, I've been hearing about a Sergeant Rock movie for so long. Like I know Luca Guadagnino announces a lot of projects and actually does follow through to them. So I'll give him that. This is a higher likelihood of happening. But supposedly, Luca Guadagnino and Daniel Craig are getting back together for Sergeant Rock at DC Studios. Apparently, this is going to be his next directing job. Sorry, after Queer, the film, which is again, I'm still surprised like nobody talks about it. It's William S. Burroughs based. I don't know, but anyway, supposedly that is his next thing. Even though he's already announced an American Psycho reboot, my only skepticism is this is like almost everyone who's been in the movie press for a while is like, yeah, okay, we'll see, bud. Like it just seems to be a lot of people going like when you care about movie news, there's some projects you're like, oh, you again. Like it's like, okay, you'll be the one, I'm sure. You're the one who's going to do it. So I think like any skepticism is not that we don't think he could do it. It's more that many have tried. I hope it's good luck. Good luck. That's all I got to say there. So he made out of rocks and is in the army. That'd be cool. I flipped through it. I've never been a big fan, but that'd be cool if they let like weird filmmakers do cool stuff, and I hope it works out. It's funny, Daniel Craig like kept trying to be in the MCU, and it always didn't work out. And now he's like, I guess I'll just be in the DC movie because he was auditioned for Thor, and then he anyway. Cheers to you, Austin. Sorry. And he was supposed to be Boulder the Brave in Doctor Strange 2. So it never worked out for him. So, they didn't ask him to play Sergeant Rock. That was a big mistake. So, Dogma 2. This is sort of... what time is it? Okay. I think we're okay. Or we'll just go long. Who fucking cares? So, now that Kevin Smith has gotten the rights to Dogma back, even though no one's sure how he did that and what company was involved, and there's a lot of questions on that. Like, the Scary Movie thing was like Miramax asked them, which the Weinsteins haven't been involved with in so long. You're like, okay, makes sense. That's fine. And then this, it's like, what? How did he get them? If anyone knows, maybe I missed that, but I know there's a lot of questions on that. He says he's thinking about it at Dogma 2, and because he did help, Kevin Smith did help get Good Will Hunting made, and he is responsible for Ben Affleck and Matt Damon sort of become, their launching pad. So he says he can probably get them back. I don't, and it said it'd be more of a companion piece than a sequel. I'm like, dude, just stop it with the fucking sequel. Like, unless he has a really good point. Like, I don't know. I still need to see, should I see the 4:30 movie? Maybe I should make a list of, like, movies I should see and make people vote on them. I also saw King of the Planet of the Apes, and that's really good. I need to share a review of that. Anyway, so Scott Pilgrim Season 2. It was announced that Season 2 is canceled. But the creator, Brian O'Malley, has said it was only a one and done. I've read several different reports, so I'm a little confused that, like, they did a one and done, but saw if they could make a Season 2. And then I've read he said that it was just a one and done, so he's confused by the press of it. I don't know what's going on. I think we got a good season and we're good. Maybe there was talk of like, hey, maybe we could do it. And Netflix was like, nah, we're good. And that was the end of it. I don't know. But either way, there's not going to be one. So, cool. All right. Where are we in this? Okay. So I do want to talk about box office because Red One I have a whole thing about actually in the box office part. So there's going to be a Popeye slasher movie. I'm not sure if I want to keep doing all these because I missed the Winnie the Pooh thing, but maybe I'll go in because people seem to actually respect the Winnie the Pooh movies now that they have better animatronics. So I'm curious. Maybe I should get. I like this kind of weird slasher era of shit we're in. So the Popeye slasher movie, which is called Popeye the Slayer Man, the description is this: the film follows a group of friends who sneak into an abandoned spinach canning factory to film a documentary on the legend of the Sailor Man, who is said to haunt the factory and local docks. That could be cool. I'm curious about a trailer. I possibly will review that. Let me just put it that way. Okay, I guess I should... Alright, I think I might skip over some stuff. But the Godzilla -1 director, Takashi Yamazaki, I think, has actually even though he's committed to doing another Godzilla movie, also has a deal with Bad Robot and Sony. Bad Robot, especially right now, is as a company, I guess you would call, is mad sketchy. And they kind of announce stuff and don't like, where's that Your Name live action remake? Heard anything about that lately? Like, you know what I mean? They announce a lot of projects. I very rarely see them come to fruition. It's mainly because J.J. Abrams, like anything he's involved with, I feel like doesn't happen. I actually think his directing thing might, and maybe this will, but we'll see. It's called Grand Gear, and we don't really know anything about it, but it's deal with that. My only... it was supposed to have a bidding war. I'm not exactly sure. We'll see. Because there's a bidding war, I sort of believe it will happen. But Bad Robot being involved in 2024 is not a great sign. Because they are a fucking mess. Pamela Hayden, who is the voice of Milhouse and Nelson, I believe, has decided to retire Jimbo Jones and Milhouse decided to retire from The Simpsons after 35 years. The Hayden will voice her last episode on Sunday, November 24th. So if you want to see the last episode of Milhouse, it's actually a Treehouse of Horror presents Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes. Why are we putting out 2 Treehouse of Horrors after fucking Halloween? I do not understand this. But good for her. It's been like 36, 7 years. I'm sure she wants to stop, and that's good for her. Sometimes Rod and Todd, I didn't know that. So I have no real issues with her retiring. I think that's great. I hope she has a great retirement. I'm super confused about the Treehouse of Horror Presents thing. But, like, what? So we had 2, and they're... Because it said another place it was, like, made for last season, and they held it. I'm like, so you telling me you could have aired something on Halloween, guys? What? Anyway. I am curious. Everything's not going on Milhouse anymore. That's great, Dan. I love it. I do think like that cast is getting older and older, and we're going to continue to see. Sorry, I just realized I needed to have something for later. Anyway, sorry. They're getting older and older, and I expect more people to retire. But we'll see. But congrats, she did an amazing job creating one of the more iconic characters of modern pop culture. Who will get his Alf box? Oh, someone should give those to her. I guess she's sort of, judging by her last episode is this Sunday, I'm getting the vibe she retired like a year ago. She made a TikTok, which Ryan sent me, and I watched, and she sounds like, okay, I guess everybody knows and stuff. But, final Milhouse, I do kind of hope they, I don't know. I think it's, like, once the original voice cast all retires, we should, like, stop, though, right? I know, like, everybody, all the internet people are, like, very pro New Simpsons, but I think we're maybe approaching that. Like, if everyone's just getting too old to, like, do this anymore, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just saying, I just think, like, let's let everyone else have the animation legacy at this point. But whatever. Is Milhouse getting the t-shirt cannon? I hope he does. Cheers to you, St. Powers. T-shirt cannons scare me. I feel like you could really fuck somebody up with those. Probably not. I don't know the logistics of t-shirt cannons. What do you think this is? Oh, they already recast the rest of it. I didn't know that. I don't know about recasts, whatever. All right. Yeah, also that she got her chance to retire. I mean, you're on The Simpsons. You should get your chance to retire. So, in we are never stopping transphobia, apparently, news. Warner Brothers revealed that J.K. Rowling is involved in the TV show of Harry Potter. And that they feel like it is her right. I think the exact quote was, it's her right to express her views. She has the right to express her personal views, which is like, yeah, I guess, but why do we have to keep hearing them? I just think it's like, I didn't know. Oh, apparently Eddie Redmayne spoke out against it. It's like, people clearly don't care about it. Talking about trans issues, because I didn't even know that. World. Cool. That's why you... World. Cool. That's why you... keep employing a transphobe. What I don't get is, like, you could, like, Mr. Coat responded to me on something, I don't actually know, and he was like, she wasn't actually that involved in the movies with Stephen Kloves, and yes, I agree. But, like, he's a great screenwriter. That's why those Harry Potter movies are so good. But, like the ones she was involved in, they had to bring him in to, like, sort of fix up, because she's not a movie person. And, like, I don't get, like, what they're doing with this. Like, she doesn't need to be involved. Like, to me, it's just like, couldn't she just, like, collect the checks and shut the fuck up? Like, I just don't. I know. One thing that'll be nice about Blue Sky is, like, please do not let her join that. Like, Jesus. But, like, I love that they're like, she has every right to be a hateful piece of shit. I'm like, I guess she does. Okay, I need to look this up because I am going to forget. I didn't write down the name. Or, the problem when I write down these notes is my spelling's so bad that autocorrect will be like, did you mean this? And it'll give me literally a different word that makes no sense. Okay, so Cameron Diaz is actually going to be back in a movie for the first time in a very long time with Jamie Foxx in a film called Back in Action. It looked not honestly that good, but if you wanted to see Cameron Diaz after, like, was the last movie I saw her in, like, The Counselor from 2013. Holy shit, it's been like 10 years. Was it The Counselor? Maybe that was the last one. I forget. I'm going to look this up, actually. No, it was Annie in 2014. Anyway, it's been about 10 years. I believe it was it. I'm going to look this up now. But she's in, I look at Wikipedia when I should be looking at. She's in this movie Back in Action. It's going to be on Netflix with Jamie Foxx. I think that's actually, am I right about this? Yeah, it was Annie. And she had a guest role in Side Hustlers. Which doesn't, anyway, she's in a bunch of stuff, including Shrek 5, obviously, and a movie called Outcome. But yeah, Back in Action, coming out in January 2025. It looks pretty forgettable, but if you wanted to see her in all this time, I recommend checking out that trailer. I don't know why I didn't put it in the trailer section. And let's just talk about trailers, actually. I'm going to skip over some stuff. Let's do the trailers. The Bad Guys 2 trailer of the trailers I'm talking about in this show was the best trailer I saw. The action was amazing. Very fluid when the wolf guy, whatever his name is, jumps in and like the jumpsuit flies off him. That was amazing. It continues to be like the most Lupin the Third looking cartoon that isn't Lupin the Third I've seen in my fucking life. Like, Jesus. Mute. Am I muted? What does that mean? Jumps in and like the jumpsuit flies off him. That was amazing. I don't know what mute meant. Okay, anyway. But it looks really cool. I'm really excited for Bad Guys 2. Of the trailers I've seen, that was probably the best one. Elio looked fine. I didn't really blow me away. I think I like the other trailers more. I guess they needed to have a new one. So, cool. And then the new Wallace and Gromit trailer also still looked really great. I'm excited for that. By the way, I'm going to continue to do, I will talk about that Cinerim. Thank you for reminding me. I did watch that today. I will continue to try to review all the Wallace and Gromit shorts, at least. Before, I don't know how, some of them might be segments, some of them might not be, but I think I can do it. And the Apple show, The Studio, starring Seth Rogen, it looked good, but, I'm kind of curious, like, how it would be, and, like, I don't know. The trailer looked interesting enough that I'd at least watch the first episode. So, I'm not the biggest Seth Rogen fan, so there's that. All right, so we're going to talk about box office, and obviously I'm going to get into the thing with Red One, which was the number one movie at the box office with $32 million, which is obviously not good because it cost $250 million. Now, there's a lot to take in with Red One and its box office and its costs. And I actually came around on this a couple times. I listened to Slash Films had a pretty damn good week. I've listened to two of their podcasts. One with Ryan Scott doing box office predictions, who made me rethink Red One a lot. And then they did one on Nora sort of recently, which is also very good, with Jacob Hall, who I never like on any podcast. I usually go, Jesus, please God, no. But they did a great job, and they've been making really great content, Slash Film, and they've been making more articles, and they've been better. So, very, very surprised. But so Red One, it cost $250 million. It cost $250 million because this film was budgeted and made to go to streaming. So basically, when you're a movie made for streaming, and you have a major movie star like The Rock and Chris Evans specifically, they're paying out the back end, meaning that instead of getting, like, let's say $20 million, because you're not gonna make money off the gross under the finances they made this movie, they might give you like 30 or 40 because you're not going to get any royalties, because really it's going to be on streaming. So this box office play, like this 30 million, I think it's made about 80 worldwide. None of that is going to the actors. None of that's going to the director. Those people have been paid out and signed deals, and that's over. So the finances are a little different than, like, if you were to make this for theaters, it wouldn't have cost $250 million. And a lot of people have suggested that part of the reason to put this out in theaters is because when you put a movie out in theaters first, it does so much better on streaming. And this is a huge marketing push. You can help pay off some of that $250 million. And it's like sort of free, not free money, but it's like you're going to pay off that huge budget, which you've already paid your stars, and financially that could work. And I agree to a point. Because the end game of this, under everyone's stipulation, is this. It's basically, people say the same thing about Killers of the Flower Moon. But here's the thing about Killers of the Flower Moon, and I want to like explain this very clearly here. Killers of the Flower Moon, right? Let's say it's coming out to Apple Plus or whatever, and it comes out in October, and I think October, I believe is October, and it's obviously Scorsese, so it's going to be considered for Oscars and Best of Time list. There's probably going to be an article about Killers of the Flower Moon every week from October to about February, March. So you have this whole launching pad. By the time it's on Apple Plus, it's got, or Apple, whatever, who cares? It's got all this buzz and people want to see it, and it's going to help the streaming service. And that makes total sense. Now here's the thing with Red One. Red One is a Christmas movie. It's in theaters now. There is no Amazon Prime release date for this movie. Everyone's estimation is that this will be on streaming in April, which for a Christmas movie, which this is like not good. I can't imagine that being good at all. It's like, if you can think of, if it's Thanksgiving coming up next week, that's like if you sat down and go, hey, everybody, do you want to watch The Marvels? Or Wonka? Or, how many people were watching Exorcist Believer on Peacock over Halloween? Nobody is going to fucking remember this movie by the time it's relevant again and it's on streaming. And I get they're probably looking at things like The Christmas Chronicles and Jingle Jangle and like things that rise up to the Netflix top 10, even though I've largely thought that that's kind of fraudulent and there's no oversight into that, but it's a different issue here. What I'm saying is like, there is no way this isn't a disaster. The people who are claiming that this is a fucking disaster, it's not promoting this movie, because like there is no world in which a highly promoted movie from a year ago does well. That just doesn't happen. It so rarely happens. It's such a fucking stupid ass. Like if they were like, and Red One is going to come around to streaming right before Christmas, I'd be like, you know what? Good strategy. But you're telling me you're going to put this out in April? Even if you do Christmas in July, this is a dud in the fucking water. And if I was them, I would actually look at that Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell Christmas movie on Apple Plus that they poured a bunch of money in. Are people going to watch that this Christmas? Because my kids are already asking me about Christmas Chronicles. And they've already, I do hear people talk about Jingle Jangle. And there are certain Christmas streaming movies that have been a success. But they're that because kids have made them a tradition. And like Red One is already poised to like not really be that. So there's no way this isn't a disaster, basically. Everyone who's claiming like, well, maybe it's not, and it's actually done this way, and it's going to help the streaming numbers. If this was like Gladiator 2, I'd be like, yeah, sure, because people watch Gladiator 2. Oh, Klaus. Thank you. I'm sorry, Jordan Slavel. You're right. I should have said Klaus. But if it was Gladiator 2, or a movie that's not tied to a specific like time period or like anything else, I'd be like totally, yes, I agree. But like this is a time specific movie. And I know every streaming service seems to want like their holiday movies, much like how Netflix has, The Christmas Chronicles or Klaus or any of those things. Like it very much helps them. But like this does not help Prime Video at all. Like this is a bad idea. They fucked up. They messed this up. Like if this was going to come to streaming in a month, I'd totally agree with you. I'm sure it'll be a big success. But the fact that like next Christmas you can watch this on Prime, that's the next Christmas season, you can watch it at home, you lost the plot. Even when this thing is on demand, that's going to be January. Like, I don't think this will be on demand by Christmas. You failed. Like, there's like, I was totally like in there. I was like, yes, and this will help promote the streaming movie, and the budgeting makes sense, and this whole idea makes sense. And then they don't have an announced date. I will say that. It seems like that was suggested by everyone based on what MGM usually does. And maybe if they go, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna put it out December 10th, I'll change my mind. But as it is presently, this is a disaster. I just don't see it any other way. There's no out right now. And if it really says it's on-demand numbers or before Christmas or on Christmas when it's on-demand release, or digital release, I will be like, okay, maybe you're sort of saving it. But if neither of those happen by Christmas, Red One is a financial disaster of epic proportions because you messed this up. Because the Christmas Chronicles didn't play in theaters. And it's a Christmas, kids want to watch it every Christmas. I'm not saying it's like the best one. It's just I've seen it happen. And I don't know. I just think if they really have a good strategy and they're smart about it, but if they don't do it, which they do not have any dates released, although everyone's like, well, based on this, they usually do this. If they're doing that, but if they don't, and if they have a release date, I'll talk about it on whenever, we have a show and they talk about it. I will mention that. But if they don't, then this was a really... Because it's like, to me, like, everyone knows this is going to get destroyed by Gladiator 2, Wicked next weekend, and then also Moana 2. Like, this thing is, barely treading water. But, I don't know. We'll see, but I just don't... I don't see how this is not an epic disaster. Unless they release those dates. If they do have that, but I just don't see this being a Christmas classic next holiday season. Like, no one's going to remember this, It's just that's not how movies work presently. Unless you maybe see if it's really maybe if they market it as one of the biggest bombs of all time or something. I don't know. And it's also on the downslope for The Rock, who keeps doing bombs, but this deal was made I believe before thank you for being here, Dan. I believe it was done before the Black Adam stuff and him trying to figure things out. It's sort of like a deal that had happened a long time ago. So, and it was supposed to actually come to streaming on Christmas 2023. So the fact that it's actually not going to be ready for streaming at this time, we believe, until Christmas 2025. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Presently, there is no information on having this work. Let's put it that way. Maybe, if they tomorrow say, you know what, it's going to be on Prime on December 1st. I'll be like, you know what, you're wrong. I bet you it does well. But presently, not on a good path. And because they don't have we're pulling it from theaters date. Although, to be honest, I think the theaters will get rid of it knowing how the box office is doing. But yeah, they only have one way out. And I don't think MGM is watching this, but the only way out is get it on demand or on streaming before this Christmas. If it's not, this is never going to be what they want it to be. It was a waste of money. So, and also apparently it sucks. All right. So Venom: The Last Dance has continued to be kind of a bigger film than anyone suspected. It's at 127 million. It's kind of thumbing its nose at all the people who said it cannot be, didn't matter. And even though there's not much to talk about, it just continues to hold very well. It's one of the big superhero success stories. I think because, Venom's just a solid thing. So we'll see. Other than that, the best Christmas pageant, which if there's any film that I actually think has enough buzz to maybe make it to be a thing next Christmas, it's actually probably this, because it's homey and people like that sort of thing. I can actually see this sort of working out for Lionsgate, who made this, but we'll see what happens there. Wild Robot continues to do well. It's still at number 5, and it's 8th week, which is insane. I don't see anything with that kind of numbers. Hello, Love Again, which is a what country is that from? I'm so sorry. Anyway, is one of the Hello, Love Again. What was the deal with this? It's Canada. I don't think it was Canadian. I think there was something else going on here. It's a sequel to Hello. It's the highest grossing film from the Philippines in America of all time, and had the biggest per screen average of the week. And it's interesting how much films that are not mainstream Hollywood continue to do, and that's another of the success stories. I'm glad it's not just from another country. Typically we see a lot of that stuff from India, but it's cool that that's still happening. And Anora snuck up to the top 10 as it gained 396 theaters, although it lost 30% There's nothing too much to talk about except for Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is at 294 million, which is insane. And yeah, I just don't. And Sugarcane is at the bottom of the box office, which is, of course, a really sad, not funny movie. Sinram, as a super chat said, I went to see a movie while visiting San Francisco in 1997, and people actually booed the G.I. Jane trailer? Whoa. Ouch. People I noticed were kind of weird about that. I've never seen it. It's Ridley Scott, I believe. Choose to use Sinram. That's an interesting story. I don't think I've seen anyone boo a trailer. I'm trying to think. I don't think I have. Maybe I have. Maybe it was just me. I remember when I was in San Francisco in 1997 and I was like kind of drunk and I went to a movie and just booed everything. No, I'm joking. Anyway, cheers to you, Syndrome. Thank you. That's interesting. Actually, for a little bit, when they started playing ads before the movies, I would boo the ads. And people would just tell me to shut up, so I stopped doing it. People like advertising. You know, I don't know what to tell you. All right. What is... Are we going to take a break? No, I think there was an obits, and I wrote them down in a weird place. Where did I write them down? Maybe I didn't. Maybe nobody died this week. That'd be cool. Sorry, this is probably not fun to watch for the people who are watching this. That sucks. I believe it was the musician. People definitely died this week. Thank you. Hold on. Okay, Adam Pally, who's a composer, prolific producer of records and film, and who worked on, was a composer for SpongeBob. He composed scores for SpongeBob and other TV shows, died this past week. He also worked with Brian Wilson on his 1988 album, which I've actually not heard, but I've heard a couple times is good. And worked with everyone from Madonna John? What? Why did I say Madonna? Who's John? Okay, anyway. Katie Lang, Mandy Burnett, Brenda Lee, Little Richard, and others. Is a very accomplished musician. R.I.P. to him. That was the only one. I think there might have been another one, but I don't. I'm sorry. It's been a very long week. Let me just say that. Okay, Jordan Richard asks, what shows are you currently watching and do you like them? Oh yeah, that's true. You got mail first. R.I.P. to him as well. First off, cheers to you, Jordan Richard. I need to catch up on Invisible Fight Girl, but I am watching Abbott Elementary, which I continue to really like. What's the other one? I watch Every Murder in the Building. I thought was really good. I like this past. I don't know. The casts are just like crazy on that show. I was like, how did they get that? Trying to think. When I watch Saturday Night Live, I like the Charlie XCX one. That song she did with Lonely Island is great. But then we just watch like random stuff for like Broad City again. So I guess those things. I guess I don't know. I can't think of everything right now, but I know Abbott Elementary. I really love that show quite a bit. All right, so I'm going to take a break. Then we will talk about the episode of Carl the Collector, which the first episode of Carl the Collector, or the one that Austin sent me, which I didn't, called The Plushie Collection. And then, then the episode of MoonGirl, Devil Dinosaur, Gatekeepers. And then we will talk about, then we will do questions. Dan Hennessy. Okay, I saw that posted in a weird place and I misunderstood. Dan Hennessy, who was the voice of the cartoon Beetlejuice, which I think everyone rewatched, or at least I did for episode 1, and did a great job, passed away as well this past week. He was an amazing voice actor. and did honestly a really great job. So RIP to him as well. I'm sorry if I'm a little like all over the place. It's just like I feel like I'm just I don't know. Every other thing was like I was actually feeling better today, this morning, and then like life, just work and everything, just like by like 6, I was like I don't feel good anymore. Back to why I'm sad. All right. Anyway, um, okay. I'm gonna use the bathroom, and then we will come back, and we will do Carly Collector and MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur. I'm not sure which one I'll do first, but we'll see. This bumper is, of course, by Ace the Wind Rider. His links are down in the description if you would like to follow him. If he has a blue sky, I don't know. Does he? I think he does. Maybe I should update this. I'll figure that out tonight or at some point. I don't know. Anyway, I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone who's done a super chat so far. If you haven't, you're running out of show to do it. I will be right back after this. Okay, what's up, everybody? I see Izzy's here. I guess since Izzy's here, is it lame if I talk about MoonGirl? It's not too late. But you did say I heard MoonGirl and I was summoned, so I feel like I should talk about MoonGirl first, but I'm going to talk about both. I feel like we're going to run long, so to make everyone aware of that. I feel like that's going to happen. What was I going to say? Oh, I have when I was planning out both these reviews, I fully expect myself to repeat certain things. Understand that these will be cut up into separate things later. They're very small points that would be repeated, but don't, it's not because I'm boring. It's just, send me a link before I start. I like that. I didn't realize that. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me bring up some stuff before I. What? Man, my internet always is weird when I do these shows, and then it's not weird, and then where did my? Okay, hold on. Okay. Sorry, just getting everything ready. Where were we? Okay. First off, Izzy, thank you for being here. That's cool to see you. We talked 2 weeks ago? Recently. Anyway, it was cool. Alright. Let's just do this. Sorry. I'm going to take a swig of this. If anyone super chats, you have not that much time, so do so if you would like to. And I appreciate everyone who has. Cheers to you. And I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Okay. Let's do MoonGirl first. MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur. Today I'm going to talk about the banned or shelved, I guess is how they want me to talk about this. MoonGirl and Devil Dinosaur episode called The Gatekeeper. Disney decided to shelve this episode from Disney Channel, and it has no real release date on Disney Plus as far as I am aware. But it leaked, and so we were able to see it. During this video, obviously this part is for later, so sorry. During this video, there will be no clips of it because I don't want to deal with Disney's lawyers, and I can't really just cut to something else because that would be not really work. So, I might have pictures of the comic or something, or I'll just not do that, and you just watch me. I'm sure I'm just as beautiful as the amazing animation of MoonGirl. But basically, what the episode is about is Lunella is part of the volleyball team. She is the hydration specialist or the water girl, and she's very excited about that. But the volleyball team has its kind of captain. It has two players who are. It has one player who is non-binary, but the captain is trans, and they find this out because she says, I believe it is she says. I thought about using different episodes, but I don't want to. Obviously, it's not. Anyway, because she says that she used to play on the boys' soccer team before she transitioned. And the mom of one of, or I guess the coach, who's the mom of one of the girls on the other volleyball team who they're playing, gets upset and then uses this magical key to sort of lock them in the locker room and lock them in this like weird kind of gatekeeping dimension that they have to fight their way out of, so that if they don't leave the locker room they will have to forfeit because she objects to a trans player being on the other team. There are 2 voice actors and one who is not getting the credit they deserve. But India Moore, who is, I believe, I don't know if it, anyway, I'm just going to say, it's a long day and I don't want to mispronounce anybody, misgender anyone. But India Moore voices Brooklyn, who is the leader of Lunella's volleyball team. This isn't really a Lunella or MoonGirl focused episode, which is something the show does very well. It's more about like the group and the volleyball team and stuff like that. And then the mom, who's I guess would be the Karen or whatever, is voiced by Amy Sedaris, and she does a really good job. Like legitimately, I was like, you are like so good at this. It's like I liked India Moore's performance a lot. I like India Moore a lot. I wish I saw them in more stuff. But Amy Sedaris really kills it. I was very surprised. I was like, this is legitimately great. I also didn't know Raphael's. So whoever does the music of MoonGirl, who I forget, I was surprised by that. But anyway, I think this is a great actually episode for kids. It talks a lot about how who's really holding about on these issues are not sort of the present generation. It is the older generation who has the issue, because it is actually not the girl on the other volleyball team who has any issues here. It is the mom who has the issue, and it's only really her, and how a limited amount of people are she's holding back this whole game based on her own prejudices, which I actually thought was a much more healthy attitude to talk about these sort of things. I really liked how, when I grew up with Marvel Comics, and I grew up with particularly like New Mutants, and which I've talked about a few times, and X-Men and things like that, they would pretty blatantly talk about these issues, and it might be a little much to some people, but I think it is a really good way to explain to kids like some of these issues and show like how this is like holding, and how frustrating it is, and how people feel you should only be in a certain little box and stuff like that, which I think is much more of a trait that's placed on an older generation than a newer one who's accepting and wanting to change things, whereas this mom doesn't want to. And I thought that was it was actually a really wonderful animated episode. It has an awesome episode, and I love the animation in the show. And one thing, this is the part that's going to repeat, so be cool about it. One thing I hate about kids animation presently is it just sort of looks like a sitcom. And I understand for cost-cutting measures and Hanna-Barbera's influence and all those things, it's just like the same background and limited animation, and there's way too many episodes, and it all looks the same and stuff. But God, the show is so alive. Like every time I watch it, it's like the animation is so alive. There's so many cool drawings. They put so much effort in. It's like a real beautiful show to watch. I truly, truly love this episode. I like that Lawrence Fishburne comes in with The Beyonder. I like the Devil Dinosaur. I like that there's a Charlie XCX song with Unlock It. This show gets me to listen to more songs. Like, I like that it's like cool, like hip songs in it. It's just such a great episode. I really actually liked it a lot. I think there's no way to look at this and watching this and how positive it is about, a trans kid in sports, and the fact that they would ban it. There's no way that I see, having seen the episode and knowing the issues and knowing that everyone's just like gonna let fascism happen, that that there's no way I can look at this. Is Unlock It does? I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Thank you for that, Cornbread. I didn't know that it features 2 trans artists. That's amazing. But there's no way to look at this and not see Disney as transphobic by holding this back from children to be able to see this. This is absolutely positive. It's absolutely about acceptance. There's nothing at all objectionable in this episode. And I say this as a dad, and I say this as someone who likes animation. This is a really great episode, and the fact that they held this back shows me that they limit their own creativity, and they've let their segregationist views take over in the part of, I guess, perceived business, but I still think they're basically just doing a conservative dog whistle by banning a really good episode, a really good cartoon. I'm glad it leaked. I hope you get to see it at some point. I think it is fucking bullshit that they did this, but I think it is an absolutely great episode. I really enjoyed watching it. I really do love this show, and I think it's a real crime that they took this way, especially a show that's so much about, understanding new things and changing our expectations, how much Linnell understands what her grandmother did and what past generations did and how people are held back by their own creativity and stuff. And it fits so well in what the show is, and it's so much like when Marvel writes these stories. It was absolutely appropriate, and is probably one of my favorite superhero things I've seen, especially for kids. And I'm excited to show my kids this one, and we've already talked about watching it, although I haven't yet. But I think it is a damn shame that the public can't see this. I think there's a lot of good that could have been done with this, and instead all we get is kind of evil, discriminatory fascism. So I guess that's what Disney stands for at this point. But if you don't believe in that, you should definitely watch this episode. Okay. Now let's talk about. Sorry if I went too far. Sometimes I do say that because I understand, like, if I say something's transphobic, I will not get the same amount of shit like Izzy or anyone else would get. So I feel like if I have the mouthpiece to say that, I should. But if it comes off too strongly, I apologize. That's not my intent. Is more to, but I think it was. There's no way this specifically it was. All right. So, Carl the Collector. Sorry, this is like. Let me take some water to cool down after this. All right. So I'm going to talk about Carl the Collector, the plushie collection episode specifically, but I'm going to talk about the show in general. I've only seen this one episode. Although, however, I would like to watch more after watching this. Now, this is the first PBS show and first kid show I've ever heard of, or at least is open about it. Is about a neurodivergent character who would be Carl the Collector, or who's autistic. What's interesting about that is, if you had watched this episode, I don't believe it really ever is brought up or said, but it's very much there, which I thought was actually really interesting. This what I really liked about this episode is, one, it was talking about being creative about, I don't know what, like, necessarily, I'm not autistic and I cannot speak on that. I do know, like, a lot of the diagnosis, because I have a learning disability, a lot of diagnoses around those certain things, I do know were not done very well when I was a kid. So, in fact, particularly if you were female, in fact, they would just be like, I guess you're fine, whatever. So I 100% think there's a lot of autistic traits that I might not recognize because I am not autistic. But I do think, like, the collecting thing, a lot of kids have collection stuff. I think it shows more of a common ground and more of an accepting of, like, because nothing Carl does is looked at as unusual or ordinary. He's just a kid who collected. They call it plushies. I heard kids call it stuffies, but that's just a very nitpicky thing. I think grown-ups call them plushies and kids call them stuffies, but that's, maybe it's different. However, I really like the song. It's kind of like a chilled out funk kind of thing, which was really cool. And then the design of it is very, like, sort of homey and, like, feels very handmade. And it was actually done by the creator of it, who's a illustrator and a kids book author, Zachariah O'Hara, I think. Logan Hill, I will get to you in a second. I'm not going to ignore you. I just want to get through this segment if you don't mind. But thank you for the super chat either way. But I liked how it feels like because I think, again, this is the part that I'm going to repeat, so be cool. One thing I don't like about a lot of kids shows is they do look all the same, and it's like the same design. It's all sort of in the sitcom limited animation thing, and I did not get that from this. This feels very, like, handmade, made with sort of, like, love and care, and something that I don't see a lot of outside of, like, Sesame Street and certain ones. And it definitely, like, stuck out to me, even though this was brought to my attention. Had it not been, and I came across this, I would, like, legitimately want to watch this. What I also liked about it is it's like a kid who, one thing that happens now is kids often have to get rid of their toys and repurpose them because, like, now, because of, I'm a father and millennial and stuff. None of us have enough space to have a basement with a ton of toys. That's very uncommon actually nowadays. So when I was a kid, you have a basement full of crap from when you were a kid, but now that just doesn't exist as prevalently. So kids do have to understand what to do with their collections at a certain point. That's actually a pretty normal thing. And in this, Carl has so many plushies, as they call them, in this. That's my major criticism. You should call they were just called stuffed animals when I was a kid, but whatever. But that they have to find a new thing to do with them, and he eventually decides if he doesn't know the name or have a connection to him, he should give them away to his friends. And I thought that was actually a really cool thing, because kids often have to do that. And when I was a kid, you'd never do that. You'd sell it at a yard sale or something. But I thought that was actually a really healthy way to deal with that and understand you don't need to keep all these possessions, and you shouldn't be wasteful, and you should give them to other people and be sharing and stuff like that. I actually thought it's a really great episode for kids. I'm not, I was very surprised by it, and I like kind of the score had this cool vibe. It was interesting. His mom took pictures of vases or vases. I was like, what is that about? Does that mean, I didn't understand what that, I was like, that's just a weird cartoon thing, or anyway. I generally really like this cartoon. I think it is great. I thought it was a great PBS Kids cartoon. I think a lot of them my kids watch the PBS Kids app, not as much. It is free, by the way, the PBS Kids app. If you have anyone who has kids, I highly recommend it. It's a really great Roku app, and it's a great website and everything. You can watch this for free. But I do think this is helpful to kids. And I thought it was a great little cartoon, and I'm excited to watch it with my kids later. I didn't get to before. But I like Carl the Collector. It's very kind of nice, kind of calm show, and it was very cool to come up with a nice solution and stuff like that, not in a way that's very preachy or anything like that. So I'm very into the show. I think they did a great job making this. I like how they use kind of Zachary, an illustrator style, to make interesting character designs, which the design of this honestly is one of the pros of it. I think it really endeared me to it, because I like a design that feels like someone actually, you can sense somebody drew it. It makes me feel more at home. And I think this show definitely has that. And I feel like it's a show you could comfortably watch in a blanket. And I think that's really wonderful. So, well, happy Thanksgiving, Alex Giraffe. Jim Anti-Fleshy. Okay, Logan Hill. Sorry, Logan Hill. It took me a minute. Says, any info... Well, first off, cheers to you, Logan Hill. Any info on what MST3K is up to with funding, live streams, a new season, and Turkey Day? Feel free to answer after you go through the scheduled topics. Oh, I didn't see that. Thank you for posting that. I didn't see that right. First off, cheers to you, Logan. We talked about it last week, so apologies. I should have repeated that, and good point. Not that you're calling me out, but I'm calling myself out. They are doing a Turkey Day marathon. They usually do a stream. They're sort of always streaming episodes on YouTube. It's like a forever stream. And obviously there's the Pluto channel. There's many ways you can watch MST3K for free presently, which is great. I might be doing something in the next week. I don't know. We'll see. But, hint, hint. But I don't know anything about a new season. I don't know anything about that. But the Turkey Day episode is going to have various famous people and Mystery Science Theater people picking their favorite episodes. Matthew Lillard, Jonah Ray, Felicia Day, I believe. I forget everyone, but Mark Hamill. A lot of big famous people are picking them. So if you want to, I'll probably watch. There's a lot of marathons and stuff we watch on Thanksgiving. I don't really watch Mystery Science Theater around the kids because it's I think that's pushing it a little, but I'll probably watch it as I fall asleep after doing a lot of dishes. But that's what is going on, Logan Hall. I don't know what's going on with the new season. Apparently it's sort of still, but it is hopeful that Jonah Ray did a lot of the ads for it and is still involved. So it makes me think they haven't given up total hope, but I don't know anything else. So, okay, cool. Austin, I did bring it up to my kids, but it will, anyway, we do plan on watching it. And a lot of those episodes, by the way, of Carl the Collector are on the PBS Kids app. If you like anything or like no little kids or family, recommend it because it's like legitimately a great app and it's free. It's probably one of the best kids things, and most of that stuff is generally pretty good and healthy. Oh yeah, also I forgot to mention this. When I watched Carl the Collector, I saw the Maryland PBS was involved a little bit. I was like, wow. Interesting. The PBS I grew up with. All right. We're going to do questions. If anyone is your last chance for the super chats there, I'm sorry to bring it up. I apologize. But, it's the way it is, I guess. I'm going to write questions below, and then we'll do the, what the fuck? What are you doing? Jesus. Questions below. All right. Let's do the Patreon questions. Sinram has a really long one, and it's really good though. So I'm gonna see how far I get. But first, Nathaniel Foga, favorite John Waters cameo. I gotta say, The Simpsons. But I would also say Hairspray the musical, where he's a flasher. I thought was great. Oh, he's in that. You know what? He was good, and I saw it in Baltimore, and everyone was generally shocked. Is Woody Allen's Sweet and Lowdown, which I know no one likes Woody Allen. It's sort of one of his late movies that people forget about, with Sean Penn, and he plays like a jazz guitarist. And like John Waters has one scene, and he's like, definitely. I remember I saw it in Baltimore, and everyone was just like shocked because nobody knew. I would actually put that one, because that, like, everyone says the road trip one, and that one's just like weird, but the Woody Allen one was just like what? Why is he what? Why is John Waters what? Like it was that one was one of the weirder ones. Anyway, okay, let me do. I was saving Austin for last. You got to do Austin's last. I'm sorry, Austin. Jordan Bouchard, last minute question. He really did this last minute. By the way, if you do a last minute question on Patreon, you really got to let me know, because I will miss it. But he said, last minute question. If you see this in time, what would be the plot of a Jim Holiday or Christmas movie, animated or live action? Animated. Come on. I don't want to see me in live action. I go look at that fucking shit all the time. The animated one, I wouldn't mind if it was puppets though. I wouldn't mind A Christmas Carol, but it'd probably just be trying to figure out getting everything done and I think it would just be like a normal thing. I don't like all the holiday stuff. Like, I wouldn't mind if it's not like a crazy accentuated one or something. I'd like it if it's just like, trying to get everything done and not being exhausted, and then you open Christmas presents and it goes by way too quick, but you have a wonderful day. I think that would be what it would be. Just be like, oh, it's kind of normal and stuff. I think more people could relate to that anyway. Or at least I could. I don't know. It's my Christmas thing. All right, so by the way, I really did like that there was a good reaction of the Chat GPT video, because I know that's sort of a different thing, and I was worried maybe that was pushing it, but I appreciate everyone's response to that. Okay. Sinram says, or Scott Green, apparently is his name, I don't know, said, sorry, this is stupid, said, howdy Jim, I've been an avid reader since I was a little kid, so I guess I'm one of those people who's been able to spell correctly for the most part without a lot of struggle. There are times when I need to put extra thought into my choice of words, like there's a particular word that expresses what I'm trying to say, but I just can't recall which word it is. And sometimes I can't figure out which vowel or combination of vowels is correct for a particular word. But on the whole, writing doesn't give me much trouble. I have never used ChatGPT, and I don't intend to, and I can't imagine a circumstance in which I needed to write an email this is just because I need to move the thing over, an email or a report or a movie review without taking the time to write every sentence myself. However, there have been times when I reread what I wrote a few minutes ago and discovered that I left out an entire word or phrase because my mind was working a little too fast and jumped ahead. I do that too, by the way. I always feel stupid when I do that. But leaving an inescapable gap in the sentence. Sorry. I'm not opposed to proofread. That's not his spelling. That's me reading. Proofreading software, and I think that most word processing programs will automatically highlight a part of the text if it concludes that something is missing or incorrect by standard grammar. But I can't rely on tools like that entirely, and I tend to reread messages or comments that go on for some length, kind of like this one. Sorry, I like this. Just to be absolutely sure that I haven't missed anything, I also find that it's helpful to copy and paste the text to another medium so that I can physically look at it differently and spot my oversights. That is a good one. Obviously, I'm describing all this because I watched your ChatGPT issue video from a few days ago. It heartens me to know that you refuse to use the generative program, even though writing doesn't come as easy to you as it might come to me. I tend to think of ChatGPT as a labor-saving device, but it's not a dishwasher or a vacuum cleaner. Writing is an expression of oneself. I'm not sure that using a generative program indicates a lack of soul, as you put it, but I do think it suggests a lack of imagination. Even people who are unable to communicate verbally have to write out each sentence before an assistant program will speak for them. Jim, do you think that is likely in the future people who will carry around ChatGPT-like devices on their person because people can't be bothered to carry on a conversation like that scene in Monty Python's Meaning of Life where the waiter brings the restaurant customers a menu of topics to discuss? Will we wind up allowing our devices to talk to each other because we can't come up with greetings and requests on our own anymore? Do I smell a potential Black Mirror episode? I think that was really good, by the way. I think that is a possibility for a lot of people, but I think you could see it. I actually think that there'll be a time where like the rich and the wealthy, who tend to be the least creative, will do more of that, and it'll be harder and harder to relate to those people who do that. But I do think there'll be some people that do, but I don't think like the true creativity or the true things that people are inspired by and stuff, I don't think that will be. But that Monty Python Meaning of Life, like I've seen that movie a few times and I forgot about that scene, and it really hit me when I read this before. And anyway, Syndrome, that was a great comment. It's on the Patreon under the Movie Crap Live tomorrow, which I didn't mention. I screwed up the tonight one. I wrote tomorrow for the. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I appreciate that comment, and that was very thoughtful. And I liked all the detail you put into it. I think that's... Anyway, I mean, sorry, maybe you went too extreme with the lack of soul thing. But anyway, final Patreon question. We are definitely over now. Hey, Jim, what a great show. Also, I'm glad you reviewed Carl and enjoyed it. I know a lot of folks will appreciate that you both read the show and are enjoying it. My question, in honor of Wicked and Wizard of Oz in general, is those Munchkins are a lot of crazy rumors about them having orgies, getting arrested, etc. My question, would you go party with the Munchkins as well, or do you think there will be a movie about the making of Wizard of Oz? It was a pretty crazy story. I think there is a movie about the Munchkins, like Over the Rainbow with like Chevy Chase. I've never seen it, actually. I haven't heard the best things. But I think you could make more of them, but there's so many rumors and things like that are sort of urban legend. Supposedly it wasn't. Some people said it wasn't as crazy. Some people said it was crazy. I don't know. But I think it's more just like you had a bunch of those kind of people who were not get to have a community like that before, and they were just very excited, is what I've always heard. But I think like if you made a movie about the making of Wizard of Oz, I actually think people would be more interested in that than like Saturday Night Live or something. So anyway, let's get on to the other questions. But those are good Patreon questions. So anyway, okay. What? Did I not like some? Why is it saying that? Anyway, sorry, okay, let's go back up. I'm going to try to do as many as I can, but it is very late. Probably just going to bed after this. I'll try to do timestamps. We'll see. Same powers. Wasn't it reported later that the MoonGirl episode was chosen to be banned long before the election, so Disney wouldn't have potentially sucked less. They would have sucked regardless. I heard that, but it was like, I still question like the way it came out at the time. Like I just don't. Anyway, I also noticed most people outside of animation did not even hear about it, which was interesting. Cornbread. I mentioned Mysterio earlier in the show. What are some of your other favorite B or C-list Spider-Man villains? Maybe J. Jonah Jameson's Astronaut Wolfman's son, if only he was in a katana or a katina. Anyway, there was like a cat burglar old guy who I liked for a little bit. See, me Mysterio is A-list, although you don't see him as much. I'm gonna go with the older cat burglar guy. I don't know what. I think he's just called Cat Burglar. Also, Black Cat. I think. I've noticed she like goes in and out of like you see a lot of cosplay of her and mention, and then you don't, and then you see a lot, and then like through my whole life of comics, like, I remember not hearing about her, and then you hear a lot about her, and then you don't hear about her, and then you do. So I'd say I actually think that story's like kind of an interesting relationship with him because it's like so different from Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy, and I thought that was anyway. I actually legitimately think I know Peter Parker dates a lot more than people realize, but I think that's one of the more interesting relationships because it shows like how you act different with different people, and I think that's very true with Black Cat. Anyway, Austin, when are you going to watch and review all the episodes of Carl the Collector or have Oscar and Sophie review? I don't know about that. But there might be another review with them soon, but I don't know about all. But we'll see. We'll see. Nathaniel Foley, do you hope that Wild Robot wins Best Animated Picture? Yes, actually. I think what we saw with Inside Out 2, it's a great movie and stuff, but I sort of like Pixar has enough, and I wouldn't mind Chris Sanders having an Oscar. I think it. I don't know. I want to see it again, so we'll see if I still feel that way, and like we'll see, like what if, I don't know, what if the Lord of the Rings movie is really good or something? I don't know. Zane Powers, what's something you liked when you were younger, and when you went back to it, you didn't see coming how poorly it aged? Oh, Full House, 100%. I used to love that show, and I can't even get through it now. I absolutely hate that show, and when I was a kid, I would watch an hour of it every day, and now I just can't. I really don't like it. it's like that shows how much my taste has changed because I cannot deal with that fucking show. It's like so bad. Like some of I loved He-Man as a kid. I don't love it as much as when I was a kid. That's fine, but like that is specifically like every time I try to sit down and watch it, I just turn it off. I just can't, or I notice I'm not even watching it. It's just it's real dreck, that show. Whatever. I don't know if it aged poorly. What's aged poorly? I can't think of something necessarily, but that definitely didn't age good. Maybe a lot of the Woody Allen stuff, I would say. Zane Powers, Dr. Oh, wait, hold on. What would the Paul Blart Christmas special look like from Black Seahawks Wiggle? I guess it would be Christmas at the Mall. You could do a Christmas. I think you could just do the same thing, but Christmas at the mall. That would work. Or he's trying to catch a shoplifter who's robbing people at the mall, and there's all the people there. That would be cool too. Zane Powers, Dr. Us or Dr. Phil. Can I say none of the above? Pup, question. Have you seen any thoughts on Sublo and Tangy Mustard? I finally started watching this last week and it gave me regular show vibes. I don't know. What is that? What? Okay, I'm curious. Sublo and Tangy Mustard? Oh, I've seen these before, but I haven't... Okay, I'm curious. I don't know anything about this. Okay, I'll try to check that. Thank you for the recommendation, Paul. That's interesting. I've seen those guys before. I didn't know what they were from. Okay, Jordan Slaffo, have you celebrated Thanksgiving before or after the official Thanksgiving? I think I did Friendsgiving and stuff like that, but full Thanksgiving I don't think I've ever done. I usually just do it on the day. What's your favorite holiday flavor? I guess I do like pumpkin spice, so maybe that one? Let's just say that. Zane Powers, if Daniel Craig is up for a DC role and Pierce Brosnan played Dr. Fate, what comic character would you want the other Bond actors to play? Timothy Dalton would be a great villain. I don't know who it would be. Maybe someone in Doctor Strange. Like another beard, so I guess she is. Cineram, given how fast do streaming movies are now this year, Kung Fu Panda 4 was less than a month. What are your thoughts on the over-under of a Christmas week Red One shadow drop? I think they'll have to announce it. That's too big of a movie and there's been too much press discussion. So you couldn't really... maybe you could. Maybe they're hoping Wicked and Gladiator 2 overshadows it. If that's not... Again, if they do that, then I'll change my mind. But right now, it just sounds like a disaster. But I think it could happen. I honestly, if I was working there, I'd be like, can we just put it out? Just get your 100 mil and then... Because I think it will get 100 mil worldwide, but you're not making your 250 back, so or I guess you're cutting it with theaters, so they're getting 50 million, but whatever. Zane Powers, deep fried chocolate butter balls. Are you the kind of guy where that sounds appeasing? That does sound pretty good. Zane Powers, can you tell me about rabbits, Jim? I don't know what that means. Okay. All right. Let me get. Austin, would you like smoke and a pancake, a flapjack, and a. What? I don't understand what that is. But anyway, Dylan Butterfly, what to do with The Wizard of Oz in the future? Wicked sequels, adaptations, Oz books. I wouldn't mind if it was more Oz books things, but I mean, there is going to be a Wicked Part 2 because they cut it off after. I'm not sure where it ends, but it's not the full musical. Austin, why do you own Elio toys from McDonald's with the movies now? I don't think I do. Do I? I guess, because McDonald's is like weird. They like won't let people break their Happy Meal toy. Because isn't Captain America already had Happy Meal toys in the movies? I don't understand why you wouldn't push that. Whatever. Zane Powers, thoughts on the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight that Netflix being sued over the low streaming quality? I don't care about any of the Paul brothers, so I don't know. Cornbread, why the hell is Conan doing the Oscars when he said he didn't have any time for my birthday conspiracy? That's good. Okay, Austin, why not do a throwback to that animated Wizard of Oz movie that was a scam to help fund the career of the Adam Smasher from the hit Rock? I didn't review that, so I can't do a throwback of that. And I think we worked on a Saber video for that. I don't know if it came out. Well, we'll see. Zane Powers, if media literacy has gotten so bad, will it ever get better, or is it on the downfall from here? I think it will get better. I'm hopeful. Let's get someone who was Timothy Dalton in Doom Patrol? I never watched Doom Patrol. Okay, let's see. Not plausible. Is there a comic, game, or novel character that deserves a movie? I mean, they should do Zelda. Thoughts on Hasbro giving up funding movies? I mean, I think it makes sense, to be honest with you. They didn't do. I sort of get it, to be honest with you. Remember those biggest year ranking tier lists, huh? Me neither, joking. I have shot the 2011 one. I just need to edit it, so that it's just hard to find the time. But I would like to keep doing those. I like doing the first one, so that it'll happen at some point. I don't know. It is hard to find the time necessarily. Austin, when are you going to read Top Secret? I would love to read Top Secret. I just haven't gotten there. But I like the Zaz. I would like to do the Zaz movies, or the better ones at least. The Rocket Lowbacks. When Star Wars came out, critics thought it was ironic, and they didn't like Empire as much since it took itself more seriously. So are the fans missing the critics' points? No. I think the problem with the first Star Wars was it was very different from what was going on. I mean, that was why it was successful. And I think the critics didn't react correctly to it, to be totally honest. I think one of the things that helped Siskel and Ebert is they were much better at reviewing those films and got the deal with them. It felt like Kale and a lot of them were a little too snooty. I think the Empire thing, I don't know if they knew how to take that, and they I don't love a lot of the reviews for Empire at the time. I think it was just you look at the 70s and then you look at what happened in the 80s, and I sort of get why people hate got so weird about that stuff. So oh, sorry I messed that up. It's okay, Marxist Hardwood. Okay, I think it is really past time, and I'm sorry I've gone so over. This might end up being one of the longer ones, but I wanted to get everything in because we're not going to be here next week. We'll be here the following week. So I want to thank the following people for Super Chats: Black Oxen Winkle, Austin, Taco Master, John Barton, Zane Powers, John Barton and Austin again, Zane Powers, Cineram, Jordan Bouchard, and Logan Hill. Thank you very much for your Super Chats during the show. Cheers to you. I hope to have something out tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know. I think I'll have some cool stuff with Thanksgiving. But anyway, have a happy Thanksgiving. Have a good night. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for coming to the show. I hope I hope it was a good one. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm kind of tired, so I'll see you guys next time. And subscribe if you would like to. And hope to see you next time. All right, peace. Have a good night, and bye.